welcome to the SYLBOURNE Show. I'm your host, Sydial, and today we have Alfred Ajani, who, after holding up a sign advertising his degree and his search for a job, he actually was inundated with tons of job offers because he was somewhat annoyed by actually, making application for over 300 jobs. Have a look at this video and see what he did.
This morning I did a guest lecture at Coventry University, and this is a little preview of how things went.
For you, but he's very kindly come in and offered to speak to you because you probably would have seen his face on YouTube and a few other places, but I will let you discuss that in more detail. Very, very interesting story. So obviously take a few hints and tips off what Alfred did because it was a success story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to you, Alfred, if that's okay, and you can introduce yourself a little bit better than me. And please, if you want to take any photos, he also said come up and get his autograph if you want to. I'll say a copy he's getting. But yeah, at the end, if you want to come and speak to him, I'm sure you'll speak to him individually and ask questions, but we can ask questions at the end as well. Okay, over to Alfred. Thank you very much.
Hi guys, my name's Alfred Ajani, known as the CV man by some. But it wouldn't be me if I didn't do something different to separate myself and stand out. So if I was to walk in here and just stay by the computer the whole time, you couldn't see my face, you'd think I'm not really the guy that I say I am. But if I was to walk in and do something, different. So that's just a little preview of what I did earlier, but I also spoke about other things than just myself. I spoke about who inspires me, like Kanye West and Russell Brand. Like, they won't be the most popular people on everyone's books, but to me, they got a good message and they're fighting for something. They're standing up for something, and it's not just to benefit themselves. It will benefit a lot of people around the world if their message is heard, and they make the change that they're looking to make. I'm also trying to make a change with the the interview process, and being a graduate and getting a job about 20 years ago used to go hand in hand. These days, like me, I had to apply for 300 jobs. So you'd say Russell Brand and Kanye West look angry all the time, but I was also angry, applying for all them jobs and people were telling me I'm not experienced. These times I was applying for graduate roles. How can I be inexperienced for a graduate job? Like, I went to assessment centres and they were trying to get me to sell a vending machine to a gym. They were trying to get me to sell coffee machines to offices, and I was like, I didn't pay £9,000 of student fees to start selling vending machines to gym. And no disrespect to people that ain't got university, but I just felt I was a bit better than that. Are you ready to do what it takes to stand out? Are you ready to separate yourself from the rest and stand out? Then can you prove to a company you can add value to that company and make them better than their competitors? That's what these employers are looking for. You've got the university degree, but take it to the next level. Do more than just a degree, because thousands of people have a degree. Sometimes you got to challenge whoever's interviewing you, and sometimes they ask the craziest questions, like, what do your friends think of you? If it was me, I'd challenge them and say, what do your employees think of you?
Yeah, please do. Please take what you need for your job.
Welcome to the show, Alfred.
Thanks for having me.
What happened out there in Victoria? Waterloo Station.
First of all, I'd say more than anything, the media would say I was desperate, frustrated. More than anything, I was angry. Yes. Coming out of university with a degree, you'd imagine that you're more employable. Yes. But my friends who didn't go to university had a job, was earning a wage, and earning some good money, and I'm here doing nothing. I was doing a few things. I was working for a charity. I was working at a music company, doing some A&R scouting, working with young people, but I wasn't making any serious money after university, so I was angry, I was frustrated, and it seems like the only time people listen to you is when you're angry and you act out. So this was me acting out, going to Waterloo Station and advertising myself to the thousands of potential employers that commute there every day.
It was very interesting when you said you were angry, but you didn't look that angry. How you display your anger?
People that know me, up close and personal now, I'm a grumpy, angry person, but I can hide it well. I'm always smiling. Yeah. I did keep some good friends around me that kept me motivated. Yeah. Even my mum that came out there in the morning to record me. She kept me motivated. It was a tough period. Just going through what I was going through at the time, graduating, coming back home, having to adapt to change. All my friends are doing something with their life, and I'd say that to people that look up to me. Have some good friends around you and make sure you're not you know, the best person in your circle, have someone to aspire to beat, you know, always in competition with the people that you're with on a daily basis.
So how did your life then change after that process? Because it was all over the papers, and that's why I send out my researchers. We had to find you, you know, and someone found you on LinkedIn because let's find this guy. What was what happened to your life after that?
It was crazy. I stood at the station for about 45 minutes. About an hour later, my battery died, and I had an interview, like, you know, straight after leaving the station. Yeah. So I've gone to that, had that interview, got back home, and there's over 80 emails. There's over like, you know, 5,000 tweets. There's LinkedIn, which I hardly even used up until that point. You know, people wanted to interview me, people wanted to get my story. I was more concerned at getting a job first because, you know, I've got bills to pay. So, you know, I've got a family to support. So that was my number one objective.
Sorry, I've got to ask a question. How old are you?
23.
You got bills to pay, you got family to support.
Yeah.
Family you got to support? Just asking.
I watched the interview just last night even of Tinchy Strider, and he said he retired his mum. Yeah. He said, "Mum, you don't have to work anymore." You know, that's what I'm trying to do quicker than anything. You know, I'm trying to retire my mum. She's done so, you know, single parent. She's done so much for me, so I'm trying to tell Mum you don't have to work no more. I'm trying to send her back to Nigeria. I'm trying to go there in a couple of years and set some stuff up there myself, because I did an interview with Glam Africa as well, and the interviewer told me I'm a celebrity over there, and I was like, there's no way. Yeah. So when you ask me, you know, how's my life changed after that, I don't see myself as famous or anything like that, but people can look up to me and I don't mind. I'll take that responsibility, because the kind of person I am, I like to do things for my fellow man and woman. I'm not happy or would consider myself as successful unless, in my eyes, the whole world is all right. You know, things like poverty and anything on, you know, on that level that concerns me. Until things like that are sorted, I'm not a happy person.
I like what you said. I like what you said about retiring your mother. That was very touching about retiring your mother. You know, and it takes guts, because normally persons. That's why I ask your age, so people can actually resonate to it. At 23 years of age, talking about family. I mean, the instinct was, has he got a child or has he got a wife or something like that? And when you said you want to retire your mother, that's very inspirational. But also, your degree was in sports marketing, post-sale marketing, and you're inundated with jobs from even a premiership. I mean, you seem like a Chelsea fan, I must say.
Nah, I'm trying to watch the FA Cup final later on. Arsenal are going to win. But
that was Chelsea.
That was probably the most shocking thing that did happen to me. I was leaving the charity. This is about a week in after standing at the station, and I got tweeted by someone that works at Manchester United, and I was like, there's no way this can be real. But, you know, I looked into it, I checked it out, and she sent me an email, and it actually had the Manchester United logo with the address and all sorts of where to, you know, complete the registration. I was like, there's no way this can be real. You know, I've got my friends telling me you're bigger than you actually think you are, and I'm like, nah, I'm just Fred from Waterloo.
So why did you go with Astoria Group?
Which is the recruitment company. Yeah, this is something a lot of people ask me. When I went to interview with the Astoria Group, they told me all the things I wanted to hear and all the possibilities and things that I could achieve there, and it's better than what Manchester United could offer me. I get to run my own projects, my own campaigns. So at the moment I'm working on a Women in Business campaign, because what I've noticed is that there's a lot of women dropping out of, you know, certain courses at university, say computer science or engineering courses. So me trying to boost those numbers again, I'm speaking to women that have got about 25, 30 years experience in those industries, getting their stories, experiences and advice to share with these universities. So already at 23 again, I'm still trying to give back to everyone before, you know, I'm 30 years down the line and no one remembers me.
It's interesting you say that, because Premiership football, one would say, is that you can acquire a lot of wealth. I mean, one of my previous guests, which is Gordon Boateng, you know, you might have seen him in one of the shows which has gone already. He's part of the kick-out campaign. But when you are in the football field, wouldn't you say you have lots of wealth that you can actually make a lot of money and do
and that's another thing, you know, me and my friends discuss on a weekly basis. In our culture, are you considered as successful if you're not a rapper, a singer or a famous sports person? There's other things that we can do to achieve, you know, whatever success is to you. Does it have to be sports or music? You know, I can do things off the football pitch. I do play football. My friends, I've got lawyers, martial art Muay Thai fighters, as well as, singer friends and rappers. And we're all trying to, achieve the same thing, but unless you're in that spotlight, are people really listening to you? And these are the things I get angry about, and the only time people listen to me is when I'm angry about something. So
now there's something else which took place also. Yes, you went out there and you had the placard and you got the job offers and you acquired a job. But also you went back out there, didn't you?
Yeah.
What happened when you went back out there?
So working where I'm at, we had a boardroom meeting and we said, okay, how can we give more graduates a chance? And he said, well, Fred, let's use your face. You'll become the face of the company. You're already working on branding, that's for external. Let's do something a bit more internal. So I said, okay, let's go back to the same spot with a new sign.
Did you find that same spot, same spot?
Yeah, exactly the same spot, but with a different sign, and it took off again. That was retweeted.
I mean, you can see from the picture now, you can see the sign which shows, what is it, job for hire?
Yeah, it was just simply, I think it says, now I'm hiring.
Now I'm hiring, yes.
So it's like how far I've come in those 5 months, what I've achieved, and just putting it in a sign, a simple sign, about 18,000 retweets.
Now listen, you got tons of young people at times would be complaining and saying there's no jobs or whatever. What you did, what's the word, you went outside the box. People are talking about difficulty securing a job, from experience being a job seeker, now being at the other end of the spectrum, helping people find employment. Is there a disparity between job seekers and the jobs available? And if so, what is the cause? I'm asking you because sometimes people are not asking the young people. They're more asking some older folks who don't know what it is about. What would it be then?
I think it's just the same problems I faced of, lack of experience, but you got to give it to get it. In a couple of years, when, the workforce retire and you look to the next, crop to come through, they're all going to be so inexperienced and we're going to fall behind other countries. It's like the England football team. We're so far behind because we took so long to get the youth in. But what I'd say to the young people is go and find that experience. Don't be afraid to either work for free or to start your own, company.
Okay, that's very interesting. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to be touching a bit on what you consider as the current state of youth employment in the UK. Now tell me, do you think our current government can actively and effectively contribute to the improvement of the current job climate, especially for young people? And if so, how?
Well, what I've seen recently from the government is a big rush. Up until the elections, they started trying to get a lot of young people to vote. So a lot of their policies did focus on some young people. So what I did see was making tuition free for, say, technology courses at university. Is that going to encourage young people to vote? I don't know how many young people voted this year, but it looks encouraging. Whether or not they actually go through with it is the case, is what seems to happen with the government a lot. There's all these empty promises. As soon as the elections was over, there was a lot of people leaving office. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But hopefully, they do start to do more for the young people.
Did you vote?
Nah.
Why you didn't vote?
I kind of regret it, but then I think about it, I'm like, you've got so many different parties pushing for certain policies, and it doesn't benefit everybody. It only benefits, one policy may benefit the poor and oppress the rich, or benefit the rich and oppress the poor. They should be fighting for equality, really. So maybe at the next elections,
2020?
I may
you might
vote.
be standing, yeah?
Maybe. People have asked me, why don't I go into office? I'm like, I'll go in there with Russell Brand and Kanye West.
No, listen, I mean, that's serious questions I ask you, I smile, because everybody has a political element in there, even though they may not vote. I mean, look at even the Russell Brand, which you mentioned. Yeah, he didn't vote, or he said don't vote, and then he said vote. But what is happening is that he's actively engaging in the whole process. And he said he's going to vote. Recently was in Richard Branson, Necker Island, and saying things are going to happen because somehow the whole shift has changed, in a sense. So it's very important. So we'll see 2020 when you stand, okay? Watch it. So what words of advice can you give to young graduates then, those who are currently looking for employment?
My advice is always struggle to proceed. Me and my friends, we live by that code. The group that we work under, the name that we work under is STP, Struggle to Proceed.
We're STP, Struggle to Proceed.
Yeah.
That's a group you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know that it's music, it's events, it's TV, it's clothing, it's a barber shop. You know, it's everything. If you've got an idea, run with it. You know, the future is for the mad. If you've got a mad idea, just go with it. Anything can happen.
Tell me about your friends. You keep saying friends. It seems like your friends are a massive influence in your life. How influential are your friends?
Every day. Like I said, don't be at the top in your friendship group. Don't see yourself as number one. Either all be equal or be the guy chasing the guy at the top.
Right.
You know, if you're at the top, then you'll start slacking, you'll relax.
Right.
And, you know, you won't achieve what you can.
Yeah.
So chase the guy at the top.
Yeah.
Or even, you know, have your camp and look at another camp and say, I want to do better than that camp.
I'm touching on the friends bit because I believe it's very important because young people tend to gravitate towards friends, influenced by friends.
Yeah.
So are you saying that at the same time, even though you have your friendship network, your STP, you have that strength within you that if they're going a certain way, which is wrong, you're able to stop that?
We debate, argue, talk every day. There's a WhatsApp group, there's meetings every day on what direction we want to go down. No one will go down a road on their own.
Right.
Until everyone is happy with where we want to go, then we'll pursue it. You know, we've been talking for months now, and we're still not happy, so we haven't actually taken action. You know, it's getting everyone to be on the same playing field, the same platform, and just agree on something and say, cool, this is how we're going to do it. Now it's time to do it. So there's never going to be anyone going down a road on their own in our group.
That's very interesting, and I'm very touched by that, and that's very powerful, and it shows the power of friendship, because friendship and with groups can be negative, and friendship with groups can be positive. And what you're displaying is that your friendship and your network has been a positive factor in your life. When many people say, oh, you have some kids, they're walking on the road, they must be troublemakers, but at the same time, unless they get to know the person, it's a different thing. Another thing also is that, and there's another video which I'm showing now, whereby, you know, as you can see, you're standing in a university, and then you ripped off your clothes in front of the students. Why did you do that again?
I've been known to do so many wild things. Like when I was back playing football, I dyed my hair different colours, and from that I got a first-team contract. Standing on Waterloo Station, I got a job. Ripping off my clothes is just another thing for people to remember me by.
Did you agree that with the lecture?
No. On the journey, this is my first speech I've ever given. On the way up, I just need to do something different that no other, say, motivational speaker would do.
Right, that's awesome. So young people now who don't follow the university route, what would you say to them?
University isn't for everyone. You know, I look back and say if I knew what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have gone myself. But I'm happy I went. You know, it's an experience. I learned some things, met some people. I built my own network. And I guess if I didn't go to university, what would I put on my sign? But there's other, you know, routes you can go down. There's apprenticeships, internships, and again, you know, I do promote starting your own business. If you've got a talent, run with it.
Now, 10 years from now, Alfred, I can see you will be 10 years older. That's the most I can see.
33.
Well, where do you see yourself, Alfred?
I see myself with my friendship group, SDP, working on documentaries, movies. We've got singers, comedians, actors. We've got rappers, lawyers, Muay Thai, tennis players. We've got absolutely everything in this group. You know, there's over 30
Can my team
of
be
us.
a part of SDP?
I'm sure. We're looking to build our own studio in Waterloo.
Awesome.
And, you know, rent that out. I'm doing interviews. I'm trying to, you know, build my own TV show. I'm not trying to interview people that are already at the top. I'm trying to interview people that are starting out, who's got a talent, who's got an idea. I don't want my show to just be, you know, full of famous people. I'm trying to tell people stories.
You know what I think, Alfred? I think that the UK is a mecca. I think the UK is a land of opportunity. Many people sometimes wonder why I say that, because many people see the negative. I see the positives. I believe that there should be more Oprah Winfrey. There should be more Steve Harvey. There should be more SYLBOURNE TV. And just flood the UK, you know, because at the end of the day, we've got something powerful. And listening to you, it's been said many times that it is what the media feeds us. But if the media keep feeding us, then hang on a second, we also need to feed the people that the media is trying to feed. So if they're feeding us one way, we need to counteract it by feeding the other way then as well. That's what I see, and that's great. What is your key quotation? What is the key word that you like to leave with your audience? There's always a quote. There's something inspiring. What drives you? Alfred?
The mantra is STP, but my personal thing is safe is risky.
Safe is risky.
Yeah, if you're playing it safe, it's too risky. Like the 9 to 5.
Yes. Nobody seems to do 9 to 5. Everybody hitting out at 9 to 5 these last days.
Yeah, you've got to have more than one source of income.
Yeah.
If you think 9 to 5, yeah, I'm safe, I'm going to get a paycheck at the end of the month, it could be made redundant.
Wow.
At any time, the company could go bust at any time. You don't know what the directors
Yes.
are doing. You know, they could be doing anything, and then that's you gone.
Yeah.
You've got to be doing something behind the scenes on your own. You've got to be building your own, so
Wow.
safe is risky.
Wow. Alfred, listen, I could continue further, and we'll have to get back again 10 years' time. Not in 10 years' time, maybe next year, maybe next week, because many things happen with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Alfred,
Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure having you on the show, and we look forward to having you some more. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And if you'd like to know more about Alfred, visit our website, because I'm going to try to make sure that we have more about STP on the website at www.sylbourne.com for more information. And thank you for watching us, and see you again on the